Tonight, Auto Sports is on the record, and you can join in this conversation. All you have to do is call 225-9476. Remember, listen to your phone, don't listen to the TV, and make sure that you have enough credits, because if you call and you have to hold on for a while, credits done, the number, you know what I mean? It doesn't sound good, all right? But we want to hear what you have to say. Fellas, what we were talking about earlier on is this sport separated from the history. Last few years, Waller Field closed down. What you all have in mind to re-energize, to jumpstart, kickstart this sport again in Trinidad and Tobago?
The minister have, we had 2 meetings with the minister within the last...
Wait. You know what? We have a clip from the first show on October the 22nd. We spoke with the Minister of Sport, Arnold Roberts.
Right.
This is what we had to say. If you could roll that clip
First
there.
and foremost, motorsport, the first time an elite athlete got funding for motorsports, Sheldon Bissessa got since I've been there. Now, very important.
He doesn't have now, though.
He didn't get yet, but he will continue to get. It's a little slower.
The timing, though.
Yeah, the timing. And ministers don't write check. If I could have write the check, I'd have given Sheldon the check now. And this is very important. I'm glad you
Sheldon car.
Yeah, I'm glad.
About that.
No, that's good. You have to understand, because people don't understand. I heard people talking about Auditor General report, and the Auditor General report deals with the public service, the accounting practices of the public servants, which the ministers have no control over whatsoever. The public service is designed there. They have to follow the Ministry of Finance rules, and under the DPA and the Public Service Commission, they follow that, and they are governed by the Auditor General.
Motorsports.
Right. No, but what I'm saying is, so Sheldon Bissessa and many payments. One thing I don't like about being a minister, I never owe anybody anything in my normal life. Even my doubles mat, if I don't have money in the morning, it's bother me whole day, and by lunchtime I go and I pay in $12
But we was talking about
$15 that I owe him. But in this system which tries to look for, which is good, accountability, transparency, and so on, but it makes it rather burdensome, rather slow, and people have to wait. For example, Colin Murray and Alvin Cornell asked for sponsorship to go and do a football game.
Let pull the plug on the minister for a second. We asked the minister about directly what is the future, what he had in mind. He talked about a $1.2 billion spend on a facility that will house and home not just one sport, but all of motorsport, karting to bike to motorbike to drags, everything. Have you all had this discussion? What is the state of this mega facility?
No, the minister is not to be blamed. Over the years, you had crab in a barrel syndrome.
Yes.
Right? You have different clubs, everybody want power. But they're not following the governing rule, which is the ASN, and you go down the line with all the different entities. Now, we have now changed that whole scenario. We have now put together a MOU where all the different clubs and organizations is now falling under the Trinidad and Tobago Automobile Sports Association, where we will now sit as one body. So you'll have the Trinidad and Tobago Automobile Sports Association on top, which is the ASN, the governing body for motorsport. Then you'll have rally, karting, solar decks, all the different bodies at the bottom, drag.
So the structure is finally in place.
And it's just a matter of signature, which we are waiting on the attorneys just to finalize some detail on it. And once that is done, then we could go to the minister and say, this is your document you want, 3 years or 4 years now, here you are.
Right. Then what happens? What do they have on their side of the table while you have been doing your work with your little secret elves? What has the ministry been doing?
Well, that was the problem, because if they give, let me say they give Rodney Waller Field or Camden, as we say.
Well, Waller Field is out of the picture. Waller Field is not a university.
If they can't give one entity, so you have to have a board.
Right.
Right. With this, Trinidad and Tobago on top, and you have on a commission, which is all the different bodies. You have 2 people, 2 representatives on it. Then everybody have an equal say, and that was the minister was waiting on.
Right.
He was waiting on that document.
To do what?
In order so you won't have fighting for dates on a circuit, or you don't have dates clashing. Everybody would be on one page. The facility is not a big problem. It could build in stages.
It's not a big problem?
It's not a big problem.
How is that not a big problem?
Dennis, we trying to
Let me understand what it is.
Well, I want to translate what Jameer is trying to say, but at the end of the day, is a lot of infighting. Everybody's a lot of egos bouncing around, bouncing around, and sometimes people want to supersede each other. And let me say, as you said in particular, one day, let's say drag racing was to use the facility as the case will be, right? If it's a limited facility and it's not an international facility as in the US or maybe Europe, you probably go after whoever have the biggest ego, go want to use that day for drag racing, and solo decks might be getting left behind, drifting might get left behind.
That has been the trend.
And it's always infighting. It's always people trying to bounce around and who is the bigger polar bear, or who is the
right, but that kind of umbrella facility has been the trend in international sports. Most of the new facilities that you would see hosting, Bernie Ecclestone's dream of this wonderful Formula One revolution, most of those facilities will be multi-sport facilities with everything. You're talking about driver instruction, you're talking about karting, because all of these things feed into that Formula One mechanism.
That's right.
But you will also see, attached to most of them, you would also see venues that would facilitate drag racing and other types of racing. So what you're saying is an understanding of our international trend. But what I'm saying is when and where and what do we have to look forward to?
Right. The last meeting that we had, which was probably a month ago with the minister, where we were looking at Wallerfield. We went down to Wallerfield on a site visit. When we reached at Wallerfield, we talked with ETEC and said, look, Wallerfield there's no way we could get Wallerfield.
Forget it.
So we look at the western side of Wallerfield, which is the areas that have a river, a lot of infrastructure. So at that point, with the couple ministers that had on site that day, we decided, all right, Camden is the immediate and fast solution.
Okay.
Right? We're looking at, once this MOU is signed and all go, we're looking at 3 months for the start of the facility. 3 months where the drag strip that originally exists right now will be resurfaced, a returning lane, which will now be part of the circuit track, and then we do design and the add-ons for the rest of the circuit track. Now, the middle, there's a whole development plan.
Jimmy, hold that thought, right? We want to take a quick break and get right back. Don't forget, phone calls, 225-9476. And I think, wait, football going on. Nigel Jawer here is down at the National Stadium. So from time to time, we will be calling in and finding out what's going on between Trinidad and Tobago and Jamaica down at the stadium. But right now, we're taking a little break. So we'll be right back. Don't go.
Tonight.